Roger Woolley. Dujon goes. Matthews has taken another wicket in his final over. And the West Indies now deep in trouble.
Good piece of flight there from Greg Matthews. And just a top edge. And the ball spinning only a metre or two away from the wicket. A simple catch for Roger Woolley. Might have also been a little bit of drift there for Greg Matthews. So Jeffrey Dujon out. The 7th wicket falls at 176. Greg Matthews to Michael Holding. Roger Woolley getting quite excited there. Thought he might have had a stumping.
He's ready now. Michael Holding has taken strike. Roger Woolley can't quite gather that in. Jeff Thompson is the fielder away at deep fine leg, and a great pleasure to have back in the commentary box the Right Honourable the Prime Minister, Mr. Hawke. And do I detect a little bit of satisfaction?
You detect a lot of satisfaction, Richie. This will be the first defeat for the West Indies for some time, and it's been a good all-round effort, I think. The team's to be congratulated, Richie.
Yes, they've looked good, and perhaps the most interesting aspect of their out cricket since they've been in the field is that Dennis Lillee is now bowling his 8th over, and he has only 16 runs taken from him.
Yes, very impressive. There was a suggestion that he wasn't absolutely fit, but he never knows when not to try, does he?
Just a single there to Roger Harper. It's a roar, but it's missing leg stump. That's a memory for all the people here, the great Lillee appeal.
It's a sign of the knowledgeability of the crowd. I think they're realising, Richie, this is the last over perhaps in first-class cricket. And they're giving him that Lillee song.
The man who won't be relishing it all that much is Michael Holding.
Dennis is not half trying either for his last over, is he?
He's still a great sight. He's just got this shorter run worked out now, and it's a pity he's retired just as he was about to grace the bowling game in another area.
Some of his bowling this season has been absolutely brilliant, hasn't it? The way he's worked the ball off the pitch both ways.
And he's got it. He's got the wicket he wanted. Michael Holding has holed out to the man at mid-on, John Maguire. Lillee has 2 wickets, and West Indies are 8 down.
I thought that, Richie, that piece of bowling, did you see it when he got me and Dad down? I think it was in Melbourne when he bowled those about 5 outswingers to him and then got him with that in-swing. It was one of the most intelligent pieces of bowling I've seen.
Indeed, it was a great thing to see. And there as well, I know Michael Holding's only a tail-ender, but he tested him out in 3 or 4 areas and then gave him the one just a little bit shorter.
That's right.
So 8 wickets down, West Indies, and the Prime Minister's 11 not far away from a victory, even though Joel Garner is coming out now to join Roger Harper. The last ball of his 10 overs, he has 2 wickets, and the chant goes up at marvellous sound of Lillee. And what a roar. There it is. Dennis Lillee finishes his 10 overs. 3 maidens, 2 for 21. And what a reception from this crowd. A standing ovation for Dennis Lillee. Jeff Thompson. A drop chance will be picked up down at long on by Dean Jones.
Yes, no, I thought Jones showed a lot of promise. He's obviously an exuberant batsman. I would mark him out as a batsman of the future, provided he can just curb that initial impetuosity a little bit, I think, Richie.
Yes, he made 23 from 32 balls. And that'll be 4 to Roger Harper. No way David Boone from deep square could get round to that, nor any way Woolley could have stopped it. The end of Thompson's over, and it's 8 for 204. 4 overs left, and 2 of those to be bowled by Jeff Thompson and 2 by Greg Chappell. Chappell's on now, bowling to Garner. In the air, but safe. Neil Bolger is the man coming round. And he's giving Greg Chappell some curry out there with that arm.
Thank you, Mr. Bolger, says Greg.
And Woolley's appeal, but I think Garner's just back. Greg Chappell, slower ball.
Yes, it looked from behind as though he had him, but it was fairly wide out and took him a while to drag it back.
Greg Chappell. Joel Garner's picked that up. Matthews is the man coming in, and he's put it down. Joel Garner was running off the field. Greg Matthews has grasped that and picks up a single for it.
Richie, I've noticed the way Australian cricketers now seem to have forgone the hands-up approach to catching the ball. They're catching with the hands down low.
Well, there's no need for Matthews to worry too much about that one. That's gone hurtling into the crowd over there. Final ball, and Jeff Thompson's version of leg spinners, and they're going to take byes. And they're going to move very quickly off the field as well. The Prime Minister's 11 winning this match by 52 runs. Well, that was a very good win by the Prime Minister's 11. 52 runs the margin at the end, in a match that was played hard, although perhaps not with quite the same intensity as the other one-day matches in this summer, but there were some excellent performances and some good hard bowling out there. The cards of the match, first of all, the Australians, having been put in by Clive Lloyd, made 5 for 280. David Boone 134 in 142 balls, and player of the match. Splendid performance by the young Tasmanian. Steve Smith 24, Dean Jones 23, Kim Hughes 53, and Greg Chappell 23. Wickets to Holding, Richards, Gomes and Harper, and in reply, the West Indies made 8 for 228. The Australians won by 52 runs. The top score there for the West Indies, Larry Gomes made 45, and behind him was Clive Lloyd on 42. Roger Harper, a very good-looking 32 not out at the end. Looks a good player, young Roger Harper. And the bowling figures for Australia, Thompson 1 for 65, Maguire 1 for 35, Matthews 2 for 59, Greg Chappell 1 for 36. And the outstanding bowling figures, those of Dennis Lilly, 10 overs, 3 maidens, 2 for 21. A tremendous performance that. Full credit to him, full credit to Kim Hughes, the skipper, and to the Prime Minister of Australia who organised the match and to whom I spoke just after the game.
Thanks, Richie. It's been a great day, due to a lot of people, but thank you very much. I think over 15,000 people are going home very contented that they've had a good day's cricket.
Yes, it all began well. I particularly liked the work of young David Boone, and I saw that all 3 selectors were over there. I should think it's delighted them as well.
Well, it's raised very serious questions as to whether Phil Ridings and I should in fact take over the future selection of Australian teams, Richie.
I promise you I won't I won't say anything to Alan Davidson, Laurie Stall about that. But it was a very sensibly chosen side, and it was nice to see that Dennis Lilly and Jeff Thompson were able to be brought back in.
It was, and didn't they rise to the occasion, particularly Dennis. He just doesn't know how not to give of his very, very best. It was a remarkable piece of bowling, and as you and I were saying together earlier, it is a pity in a way that he's bowing out after the season, because he's now perfected this new style of bowling off a shorter run, cutting the ball both ways. He's still such a joy to watch running into the wicket too, isn't he?
Certainly is. Now, one of the reasons we had such a good match here today, I think, was the quality of the pitch out there.
Well, Kim Hughes was saying to me at lunchtime, he believes this is easily the best pitch he's played on anywhere in Australia this year.
Well, that is terrific, and it looked good. It allowed the batsmen to play their shots and gave the bowlers...
That's right. I mean, the ideal of a cricket pitch is there was something for both, and the bowlers obviously felt there was a bit of life there, but it was coming through quick enough for the batsmen to play their shots.
Well, now, you're off from your triumph here today at Manuka Oval to another field tomorrow.
Well, yes, we've got some little bit of campaigning to do in the next 2 or 3 days. We've got some by-elections that we've got to get involved in, and then at the end of the week we're off overseas to China, Japan, Korea, Malaysia, to have some serious negotiations with those countries about our future relations with them, and particularly in the area of trade, Richie, so it's a very important couple of weeks ahead of us.
Any chance we might finish up with a Chinese Premier's 11 against the Australian Prime Minister's 11?
Well, let me say we're starting in the sporting contact area. The senior vice premier of China has apparently challenged me to a tennis match. They're getting a bit sneaky. He's going to be having the national Chinese badminton champion as his partner, and I've merely got my principal private secretary, so we'll take them on at tennis. Seriously, it would be marvellous if we could introduce cricket, wouldn't we? Both the Chinese, the Russians and the Americans, and I think we could sort out a lot of problems in the world if we get them playing cricket together.
Indeed it would, and we'd be a lot happier if that were the case. Well, that's all from Manuka Oval and the Prime Minister's match. We're very grateful to him for having put on the game. It was a tremendous success, with over 15,000 people in the end coming into this very, very attractive ground. Our next fixture is tomorrow at the Sydney Cricket Ground. It's a day-night match between Australia and Pakistan, and one that is absolutely vital to Kim Hughes' team. If they win that, then they've got a really good chance of getting into the finals. We look forward to having you with us there.